All right, folks, here I go now. I I came across this with Elder Mary. This was yesterday, Sunday. Somebody called me and told me Elder Mary was preaching on about uh, marriage, right? And I think it's in 1 Corinthians 7, and what I'm looking at is the I think it's the sixth verse. No, not the sixth. The ninth verse, or the eighth and ninth verse. And they told me, what do I think about this? The eighth and ninth verse. I'm gonna get to the eighth and ninth verse. And when I heard it, I knew what he was going to say, because this kind of stuff was taught in the false church that I came out of, and now was taught that it didn't mean what everybody claiming this mean. Well, let me go ahead and go ahead and read it for you. All right, 1 Corinthians, and I'm gonna tell you what everybody believe. 1 Corinthians 7 and 8. He says, "I say therefore to the unmarried and widows." All right, unmarried or one is one that never been married, and a widow is a woman that was married but her husband died. All right, so both of them are single. All right, the widow woman had experience of having a husband. The unmarried woman didn't have no experience ever having a husband. All right. It is good for them if they abide even as I. Now, Apostle Paul was telling them it is good if they stay single. Like his, Apostle Paul didn't have no wife. I heard this liar say that, see, that's why when it said a bishop ain't supposed to have no wife. That's a lie. Somebody out there teaching that lie that if you're a bishop, you ain't supposed to have no wife. Well, all the apostles were bishops, and Peter had a wife. He was an apostle and a bishop. He had a wife. Yeah, I think the Muslim, Israelites, they tell that lie that a bishop ain't supposed to have a wife. Well, I stopped one Israelite mouth on that when he bought that, and I said, well, what about Peter? And then he looked into it. He didn't want to take correction, so he didn't want to deny he was wrong, but he was wrong. I went to the scripture where Jesus went and healed Peter's mother-in-law from a fever, and I said, well, if that's Peter's mother-in-law, then that means Peter married her daughter. So Peter's wife was the mother-in-law's daughter, and he came to the conclusion that, yeah, that was true. Peter did have a wife, but he didn't want to acknowledge it, so he went on about his business. But let's get back to this. All right, it says, "I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them to abide even as I." But here's the verse. Verse 9. But if they cannot contain, that means they cannot control themselves. All right, let them marry. Watch this now. For it is better to marry than to burn. They take that burn to mean lust. Folks, no, it's not. That burn is not talking about lust. That burn is talking about burning hell. All right. They say, well, Peter, no, that says burn. No, it's not talking about lust. Let me give you an illustration. Now, you can have an unmarried and a widow. When it says if they not can't contain, if they say, you know how some women out there, some women don't hate, they hate to be alone. They just got to have somebody. They don't care what you say. They're gonna just be with somebody. Well, if you're gonna be with somebody, it's best to marry than to burn. And now you out there, you can't control yourself. You can't contain, and you got to have somebody. You're gonna mess around, be out there fornicating or committing adultery. All right. Just because now a widow, she already been through this before. A widow woman already been through this before, so she gonna be kind of cautious about the next man she get. So what she gonna do is she gonna go out and date him for a while, try to get to know him. And as they sitting there trying to get to know each other, years go by. They're gonna have sex. They sinning. Yeah, but see, she's not gonna be committed yet. And unmarried woman that never was married, she's just gonna go out there and just go around testing, see which man is right for her. Well, she gonna be in sin. She gonna be in fornication or adultery because she gonna be in adultery if she's messing around with a married man that's already married, and she's messing around with him, just going around testing men, trying to find Mr. Right. All right, so they won't be able to contain, but they're gonna go out and try and see if this man right for them. And yes, they're gonna give it up. They're gonna give it up. They're gonna either kiss, even if they don't give it up, they're gonna kiss and all that. Yeah, they're gonna lust for each other, but they ain't talking about that kind of burning. Yeah, they ain't talking about that kind of burning. That's sinning. Because once lust has conceived, they're gonna sin. Plain and simple, they're gonna sin. So this burn is not talking about burning lust, because you can get married and you can still burn in lust for somebody else. So that ain't talking about it. This is talking about if they can't contain and they wants to go out here and do all what a single woman would do, go out there and try it. They always say try it before you buy it. Yeah, go out there and test drive it and all like that, like test driving cars. But that's what it is. Now, if anybody can show me where verse 9 is talking about burning in lust, well, come on. But I say this is talking about burning in hell. It says better to marry. The Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing. So it's best to marry than to be out here not married and still fornicating or committing adultery. Because if you fornicate and commit adultery and you die in that fornication state, in that adultery state, guess what? You're going to burn in hell. So this kind of burn is talking about, ain't talking about no burning lust. How many people married and they still burning in lust? All right. So, but if y'all think this is talking about the burning in lust, all you got to do, bring me Bible. Bring Bible that this is talking about burning in lust. All right. So, all right, this is all 264. I'm going to let this play, and y'all can hear what Elder Mary's saying. All right, here we go.
Don't do it. Continue to read, twin. What did it say, son? Defraud ye not one the other. Verse 6, man. Let's go somewhere. I want to get somewhere. Verse 6, what did it say? But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. What you say, Paul? For I would that all men were even as I myself. What is Paul talking about? Paul was a single man. And Paul said, I wish everybody was as I myself. Meaning, hey, I wish y'all could just stay single like me. Amen. Why would Paul say that if the Bible said, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord? Paul said, I would that what, twin? For I would that all men were even as I myself. What is Paul talking about? I wish y'all was like me, meaning single. Why? Because a single man, a single woman don't have no distractions. Amen. Do you understand? Sister Murray got a distraction, y'all. You know who it is? Elder Murray. I got a distraction. You know who it is? Sister Murray. That's right. Do you understand? Now, it's a good distraction because the Bible calls it a good thing. But nevertheless, it is a distraction. The Bible said what, son? For I would that all men were even as I myself. Read it, son. But every man have his proper gift of God. Every man have his proper gift of God. In other words, okay, I wish y'all could be single like me. But everybody have his proper gift. In other words, y'all may not have the gift that I have. Everybody may not be able to maintain like that. Read it, twin. One after this manner, and another after that. What did he say, son? I say therefore to the unmarried and widows. Unmarried and widows, meaning your husbands done passed, or wife done passed. What did it say, son? It is good for them if they abide even as I. If you married, or you, better yet, if you're single, or your companion done passed, Paul said it's good if y'all could just stay like me. Read it, twin. But if they cannot contain. But if you don't have the gift that I have, if you can't contain, do what? Let them marry. You go ahead and marry. Why, son? For it is better to marry than to burn. You don't want to walk around here burning in lust. That's right. Go on and look here. I'm going to be like Paul.
All right, folks, you heard him. He used that word burn as lust. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again. If y'all can prove that this burning is talking about lust, The Bible said, bring forth your witnesses, that you may be justified. Plain and simple. But I say this burn is talking about burning in hell. Plain and simple. All right, folks. Like I said, this is all Juice 64 signing off. Peace.